You know, I got Ray Love in the building, man. So
100, doing it extra big, man. This is how we live.
Brontosaurus, baby.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ray from the Bay.
Ray from
Broadway,
the Bay.
Broadway Ray Love is in the building.
Yes, Ray Love, man. You got a big history in this music game.
100.
And everybody I talked to that I told that I'm like, oh, yo, Ray Love coming. They got mad respect for you, man. Like, you're past triple OG, man. You're like quadruple OG right now.
Man, I give a lot of respect, man.
Yes.
I respect the Bay. I respect its history.
Yes.
I respect the artists out here, man, that really put in work
Yes.
to put us on the map. You
Yes.
know what I mean? Some of them is alive and doing it. Some
Yes.
of them is gone, and we
Yes.
got to keep it lit for them.
Yes.
I started rapping, man, really in junior high school. And
What year, by the way?
what year? Okay, I started rapping, let's say, I'm thinking like 86. 86,
Wow,
right
man.
about the time crack came out is right about the time I started doing my thing. Or when crack came out in my neighborhood, that was about the time that I really started, you know, doing this rap thing. And I really like, man, I was small, I was local until about high school. I met a lady by the name of Layla Steinberg. She was coming up from Los Angeles.
Right.
And she was doing a rap concert. And the rap concert was Rodney O and Joe Cooley.
Okay.
And she was like, yeah, you know, we looking for artists to come and open up for the show. And I was like, man, you got Rodney O and Joe Cooley coming out here? And, you know, I come from Santa Rosa, which is a little itty bitty spot in the Bay. You know, we do our thing. You know, what's up, 707? You know what I mean? But I met her and she was like, come through, let me hear your songs. And I went over to her house, and it was a few other local rappers that she had at the time there that was, you know, trying to do their thing, and I got a spot opening up the show. And that was kind of like the start of it. That was the beginning. The next big phase was when I started recording, and I started recording with a dude y'all know, Tupac Shakur, 100. He was from Marin City. That's where he was living at the time. And there was a group out there called One Nation MCs. He was a member of.
Okay.
And we talking about 88.
This is timeline. This is 88.
This is 88, right? And our neighborhoods was always in competition.
Okay.
You know what I mean? For money, for girls, for, you know, whatever. Right. So I would try. I campaigned my city, and he campaigned his city. And he was like the best from Marin City. And I was like the best from where I came from. And through Layla Steinberg, we actually met each other.
Wow.
And when we met each other, it was like we had such chemistry. We started recording. The first day that we actually hooked up, we had a group called Strictly Dope.
Strictly Dope.
And we would challenge each other. We was like sparring partners. So I actually really learned how to rap, be like a real rapper with Pac and vice versa. It was like he was real kind of like East Coast in the sense of his style was more about everyday things. The case of the misplaced mic and funny stuff. You know what I mean? And mine was more about like kind of like, you know, I wanted to be, you know, at that time it was I guess like Too Short Records was big, so I kind of wanted to represent my neighborhood, put it on the map. How Short was doing in Oakland. So when we connected and hooked up, we kind of like started defining what our styles was in that time. You know, mine was a little bit more about the streets, everyday things. You know what I mean?
He was more into like politics too, wasn't he?
He was definitely more into politics, but that was more like the backdrop. The number one thing was entertainment. And you know what I mean? Getting the crowd. We loved party style, right? More fun stuff. But his mother being a Black Panther, Afeni Shakur gave us a lot of game and a lot of information.
Like
and, what? Man, really like, man, you know how everybody talking about the Illuminati and all that stuff now? We was talking about that in 88 and 89. You understood? We understood about how you know, exactly why our neighborhoods was messed up and how we got to this place and his mother and his family. Geronimo Pratt, aka Geronimo Jaga, famous Panther, like his daughter grew up in Marin City. So I got a lot more political working with them, you know what I mean?
So you kind of rubbed off on each other.
Absolutely.
So now Strictly Dope erupts.
Strictly Dope. We come out. We doing high schools. We playing a lot of.
What years is about this?
This is 80. This is late 88. About 89 is when we meet Shock G, Digital Underground.
Okay.
And they was doing Underwater Rhymes at the time. They was just about to drop Do What You Like, which was like their first major single. And man, they was just like the coolest dudes, man. They kind of really like taught us how to be rock stars. I always call Shock my uncle. Uncle Shock is like, he the one who really taught us what this music thing was about.
What did you learn from him?
Well, see, you got to understand, his uncle in the game, his Uncle Shock is Uncle Shock,
okay,
is George Clinton. You feel me? George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic is kind of like who spoon-fed him the game, and he spoon-fed us, in a sense, the game.
So he, oh wow, this is unfolding as it goes along.
100.
So you got that popping up. Now, Strictly Dope, when did that group, what year was it when it established?
When it established was late 88, but when we actually got our first deal was in 89.
Who did you get a deal with?
We got a deal with TNT Records. It was the same label that Shock G and Digital Underground, Money B and Everybody Fuse was on.
That's crazy.
And it was like, what was big for us was that we got to get out, meet other rappers, start meeting other rappers in the Bay.
Wow.
Coog Nut, that was when Coog Nut was giant, 415, IMP, you know what I mean? Rest in peace, Coog Nut.
Wow. I didn't know
it was like
that long.
Yeah, oh yeah. Coog Nut was triple OG. And also, this was the time when I was in high school when I got hip to Mac Dre. I went to Santa Rosa High School with his cousin, Los, right? And Los later on will be the man who actually put me on in the game for real.
And then I seen in this album that you got Mac Dre, of course Mac Ball, but Mac Dre on here too.
Man, Mac Dre got me my first independent deal myself. Not as a group, with Strictly Business Records.
Wow.
But we jumping ahead. Let me get back. Okay, so Los during this time when I was in high school, he would come in with a Walkman and he had Mac Dre playing on his Walkman. This is like 89 about this time, right?
Okay.
I'm getting ready to drop out of high school.
Of course.
But I mean, no, I really at the time I was like living on my own. I had been living on my own since I was 15. I was going to college and high school at the same time.
At the same time?
Yeah, at the same time I was overextended, you know what I mean? And Shock G and them really kind of showed us the yellow brick road, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when I heard Mac Dre, I was like, wow, he's from the 707 like me, but he already was starting to make records. Wow. He was the first. Well, I take that back. The Mac was the first, but Mac Dre was the first from my age group. You know, out of the young cats, man, that was really out there doing it. Absolutely. So in the beginning, in '89, we started doing shows with Mac Dre. Wow. You know what I mean? 89. Right when Pac was about to get his first deal, we did a show.
Who was he gonna get a deal with?
He was he got his first deal with Interscope. This is the birth of Interscope, though. Wow. This is nobody's on Interscope at this time. It's just him and Pac and what's the dude who sang Rico Suave? What's his name? He was in Colors.
I can't remember the name.
Okay, he was the only other artist on the label.
That's crazy.
So
this is about the '90s, about to break through.
Yeah, we going into 1990. I dropped out of high school.
Wow.
My bad. I dropped out of high school.
Hey, this is how a boss does it. A boss does it. The phone gonna ring.
And we started doing our thing. And Pac went on the road with Digital because he had a lot of serious problems at home. And I was already living on my own. I used to go and stay at their house in Marin City in the projects, and we would write, we would smoke, we would, you know what I mean? We would walk 50 it seemed like 50 miles, man, with food stamps, you know what I mean? Just to get some food, you know what I mean? So we really came up from the ground level together, wore each other's clothes type of thing.
That's what's up,
but we also did a lot of writing for each other. Which made me a better rapper, made him a better rapper, and so on and so forth.
How does that work when you guys write for each other?
Interesting. Well, it really starts with sparring. It's like he'll come out here sparring. Like he'll come out. He's like, man, look at this rap I got, and it's hot. I'm like, damn. So then I'll go smoke. I'll write a rap to try to be better than the rap or as good as the rap that he wrote. Each other. Right. So we knew so much about each other's styles. Even now, people was like, man, you sound hella much like Pac. Not realizing that it's hard to differentiate one from the other. You understand what I'm saying? Because we were so close. Yeah, we actually learned how to rap
together.
100.
That's big, man. That's huge. So this is about the '90s. So what happens to Strictly Dope at this time?
Strictly Dope was we had a terrible deal. Our first deal was like, man, we was getting $5,000 a year.
And what was the
starving.
Who was the first deal with?
The first deal was with TNT Records. Atron Gregory was their manager. He was also the road manager for NWA.
Oh, okay.
The reason why we signed with him as a manager is that we was trying to get a deal with Ruthless Records.
Okay.
And he brought us in. He ended up signing a deal with us to be on his label, as well as him being our manager, which is a little illegal. I don't think it's illegal no more, but it was illegal then.
Right.
And we was